Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you not to tell a story of luck or coincidence, but to declare a truth that has reshaped my life. I keep receiving money, not because I chase it, not because I beg for it, but because I have come to understand a profound secret. Money responds to who I believe I am. There was a time when I looked at my bank account and saw lack. I would say, I need more. And so the world reflected my need. But one day I stopped. I closed my eyes. I imagined a different scene, not of lack, but of abundance. I imagined opening emails filled with payment confirmations. I saw deposits appearing out of nowhere. I felt the weight of money in my hands, the joy of giving freely, the ease of having more than enough. And I began to repeat a simple phrase. I keep receiving money. I didn't just say it. I felt it. I lived from it. I walked as if it were already true. The world didn't change instantly, but something within me did. And that, my friends, is the real shift. Because when the inner world changes, the outer world cannot help but mirror it. Unexpected checks arrived. Clients came from nowhere. Opportunities unfolded like magic, not because I controlled how, but because I believed it was already done. You see, the secret is not in struggle. It's not in how hard you work or how much you hustle. It's in how deeply you can accept the truth that money is already flowing to you. Don't ask when. Don't ask how. Just go there. In your mind, visit the scene where it's already yours. Feel it. Dwell in it. Give thanks for it before it arrives. Money has ears. It listens to the frequency you're living from. When you live from fear, it hides. When you live from confidence and gratitude, it comes. And I'm not special. What works for me works for you, because the law is impersonal. It simply reflects your state. So choose now. Choose to live in the end. Choose to believe in your wealth before it shows up. Choose to repeat the phrase with feeling and certainty. I keep receiving money. Say it not to make it happen, but because it already is happening. Just beneath the surface, waiting for you to open the door. And once you do, you'll see what I've seen, that the world bends not to effort, but to assumption. And when you assume you are rich, money must come. Not tomorrow, not when the money shows up, now. This means stepping into the feeling of already being wealthy before there's any outer proof. It's not about hoping or wishing. It's about embodying the reality you desire as if it were already accomplished. Begin with your thoughts. Well, what does a wealthy person think when they wake up in the morning? They don't worry about bills or check their account in anxiety. They expect good news. They feel secure. They feel powerful. So begin to think like that right now. Speak as they would. Move as they would. Act from the place where money is already flowing, where your needs are not just met but exceeded. This is not pretending. It's a deeper truth that imagination creates reality. When you assume the state of wealth, you're claiming that you are already that version of yourself, and everything outside of you will eventually conform to that assumption. The world mirrors your internal identity, not your external effort. Walk through your day with the posture of someone who has more than enough. When you spend money, do it with gratitude, not fear. When you receive money, no matter how small, receive it with the joy of someone who always receives. Your emotional tone becomes the signal that brings the unseen into the seen. You must let go of the idea that something outside of you has to change first. It doesn't. You change. You assume. You feel. You persist. That's the shift. That's where the power is. Wealth isn't something to chase. It's something to embody. So step into it, even now. As you listen, feel the reality of abundance in your chest. Relax. Smile. Say to yourself, I am wealthy, not as a wish, but as a fact. And keep returning to that feeling again and again until it becomes your new natural state. Because once it does, the outer world will have no choice but to catch up, through which everything enters your world. It's not a passive tool for entertainment. It's the creative act itself. Everything you see around you began first in someone's mind, as an idea, a vision, an unseen possibility. Your imagination is not just where you dream, it's where you design your reality. When you desire more money, don't start with action, start with the image. Close your eyes and see it, not from the outside like a movie you're watching, but from within, as if you're living it. Imagine the texture of the bills in your hands, the sound of the notification when the deposit hits your account, the smile on your face as you realize money has come. Again, let the scene be vivid, let it be real, enter it completely, and stay there long enough for your body to respond emotionally. That feeling is the signal. Your imagination is a sacred place. It's your private workshop. It doesn't matter what the facts say or what the world is doing. In imagination, you're free. You can have, be, and do anything. And what you accept as true in that inner world, when held with belief and consistency, must reflect in the outer world, because imagination sets the blueprint. Don't treat imagination like a game. It's the first cause. It's the root of all that manifests. Every financial breakthrough, every promotion, every surprise windfall, you experience it first in a moment of inner acceptance, whether you are aware of it or not. So become aware. Become deliberate. Use your imagination daily, not just in a flash of wishful thinking, but as a disciplined practice of living from the reality you want. If you can imagine something with clarity and feel its truth, you're not waiting for it. You're already aligned with it. The world has no choice but to bring you what you've already accepted as yours, as if it's already happening, because that feeling is the creative act. Thought alone isn't enough. Words without emotion behind them are hollow. But when you add feeling, deep, genuine emotion, you breathe life into the vision. That's the moment it begins to take shape in the unseen. When you imagine receiving money, don't just see it, feel it. What does it feel like to know you're supported, provided for, and free? Imagine the moment of receiving with such intensity that your body believes it's real. Your heart might race, your smile might widen, your chest might relax in relief. That response is the key. It's not fantasy, it's creation. Because to your subconscious mind, there is no difference between what is vividly imagined and what is experienced with the five senses. The feeling tones are what impress the subconscious. And the subconscious controls the patterns of your life. What you attract, what you allow, what repeats. So you must feel wealthy now, not later, not when the money finally comes. The world only reflects what you accept emotionally as true. If you continue to feel lack, that's what multiplies. But if you feel abundance, even when there's no visible reason to, your inner state sends out a new signal, and the world eventually rearranges to match it. You must practice this. You must sit in the silence, not to beg or plead, but to feel it real, to be there in your imagination and to feel the satisfaction, the gratitude, the calm, knowing that it is done. Do not wait for your senses to confirm it. That is the trap. Your senses only reflect what you've already felt consistently. So whenever doubt creeps in, return to the feeling. Let it flood your mind and body. Smile as if the money just landed in your hands. Walk as if the account is already full. Give thanks, not for what might come, but for what is already yours in the unseen. That feeling is the evidence, and the world always follows the feeling. Holding to your inner conviction even when there's no external evidence to support it is choosing to remain faithful to the unseen reality you've accepted as true, no matter what the outside world shows. The moment you allow outer conditions to dictate your belief, you surrender your creative power. But when you persist, quietly, consistently, stubbornly, in the assumption that what you desire is already yours, you set into motion a process that must bring it into form. The world is slow to catch up with your assumption, but it does catch up. There's often a lag between what you accept within and what you see without. During that gap, most people give up. They look at their bank account, their circumstances, and they say, it's not working. And by doing that, they break the pattern. They return to the old state, the old identity, and the old reality returns with it. But if you persist, if you continue to feel rich, think richly, imagine abundantly, and act from the place of already having, then something shifts. Circumstances bend, people change, opportunities arise, often in ways you couldn't predict, because the how isn't your job. Your only task is to stay loyal to the vision, to persist in the state of the wish fulfilled. This is not force, it's not mental strain, it's quiet confidence. It's the decision to believe that what you felt and accepted in imagination is more real than anything your five senses can tell you right now. You must walk by inner knowing, not by sight. Even when nothing changes, persist. Even when doubt whispers, persist. Even when you're tempted to complain or react, go back inside and feel it done. Every time you do that, you're reinforcing the new state. You're building momentum in the unseen. And eventually the proof does come, but by the time it does, you'll realize something important. The proof was never the goal. The inner conviction was the power all along. Not just the ones you're familiar with. When you lock yourself into thinking it can only come through your job, a specific client, or one particular opportunity, you close off the infinite ways in which abundance can reach you. The truth is, the source of money is not a person, an employer, or even a business. It's consciousness itself. And that consciousness uses countless vessels to deliver what you've already accepted as yours. If you believe money must come through hard effort or one narrow path, you create resistance. You begin to measure and limit based on what's realistic. But the moment you accept that money is always flowing and can arrive from places you've never imagined, you open yourself to the miraculous, the unexpected, the effortless. It might come through a refund you weren't expecting, a gift, a new client who appears seemingly out of nowhere, a promotion you didn't pursue, or an inspired idea that leads to income. Sometimes it arrives through channels you previously dismissed or from people you barely know. The point is, you are not meant to figure out the method. Your role is to stay in the state of receiving, to remain open, receptive, and expectant. That openness is key. You may feel guided to take action, follow that, but never out of fear or desperation. Move from inspiration, not anxiety. The more relaxed you are, the more the channels open. When you know it's already yours in consciousness, you stop gripping and forcing. You begin to trust that life is always arranging itself in your favor. So when you declare, "I keep receiving money," don't limit that declaration by attaching it to one outcome. Let it come how it wants to. Stay in the feeling of already having received and watch how life surprises you. The channels are endless because the source is infinite in ways far greater than most people realize. The thoughts you repeat to yourself, the silent assumptions you make, and the dialogues that play out in your mind, all become the foundation of your outer world. These internal conversations are not just mental noise. They are creative acts, constantly broadcasting who you believe you are and what you expect from life. If you habitually think, "I never have enough," or "money always slips away," you are scripting your experience. Life listens. Reality echoes those statements because it must reflect the state of being you are consistently dwelling in. Even if you speak positively out loud, if your inner voice contradicts it with doubt, fear, or lack, it is the inner voice that holds the power. Changing your reality means becoming radically aware of what you're saying to yourself when no one else is listening. Begin to notice the tone, the language, and the expectations behind those internal words. Are you identifying with struggle or with abundance? Do you see yourself as supported or on your own? Do you secretly believe it's hard to receive, or do you trust that it's natural for money to flow? To shift your world, you must shift these conversations. Speak to yourself with the voice of someone who already has what they desire. Replace thoughts like "I can't afford that" with "money is always available to me." Instead of worrying, "What if it doesn't work?" affirm, "Everything is working in my favor." Let these phrases play on repeat, gently and consistently, until they feel natural. This isn't about blind positivity. It's about authority. You are the only thinker in your mind, and you get to choose the script. When your inner speech aligns with your desired reality, the outer world adjusts accordingly. It may not happen overnight, but it will happen, because sustained inner dialogue carves new pathways into your life. What you say within yourself becomes what you see outside yourself. Choose your words wisely. Make your inner world a place where abundance is assumed, wealth is normal, and receiving is effortless. Let your internal voice speak as if everything you want is already yours, and soon it will be, to desire alone. It doesn't bring you what you want, it brings you what you are, what you truly believe yourself to be deep down. Your outer world is a mirror, faithfully reflecting your inner self-concept. If you identify as someone who always struggles with money, who's barely getting by, or who has to work excessively hard to earn anything, then the law has no choice but to reflect that identity back to you through circumstance. Changing your life isn't about forcing outcomes. It's about shifting identity. Who are you being in your imagination? Who do you see yourself as when no one's watching? When you say, "I keep receiving money," it only becomes true when it aligns with your sense of self. If it feels foreign, distant, or unbelievable, that's a sign your identity hasn't yet shifted. The law is precise. It matches your dominant state, not your passing wishes. To align with wealth, you must be the person who already lives in abundance. That means imagining and feeling from the version of yourself who naturally receives, spends, and enjoys money with ease. This version of you doesn't hope for money. They expect it. They assume it. They identify as someone to whom prosperity comes as a matter of course. And because they hold that inner image, reality conforms to it. Identity is the root. Everything else is the fruit. New opportunities, new sources of income, financial breakthroughs. These are just expressions of the self-image you've accepted. So if nothing changes outside, look within. Ask not what you want, but who you are in relation to it. Are you identifying as someone worthy, capable, abundant, or are you still clinging to an identity formed by old beliefs, past disappointments, and temporary appearances? This shift requires consistency. It's not about pretending, it's about remembering who you really are beneath the conditioning. As you adopt the identity of someone who keeps receiving money, the law responds instantly. Circumstances begin to move, not because you forced them, but because you assumed your rightful place. You don't chase abundance. You assume the identity of one who already holds it. And when that identity becomes natural, the outer world must reflect it. Without effort, without delay, because the law always says yes to the version of you that you believe in most. To dwell mentally and emotionally in the state of your fulfilled desire. To carry yourself as though what you want has already happened. It's not a technique you try, it's a way of being. Instead of waiting for proof or signs, you claim the result now, inwardly. You think from the goal, not toward it. You walk, speak, and feel as the version of you who already has the money, the success, the security. This is not about fooling yourself. It's about accepting the truth of what you've imagined so completely that the outer world has no choice but to rearrange itself to match it. Living in the end means imagining the final scene, the moment after it's done, and returning to that moment over and over until it feels like home. Not the effort to get there, not the process or the path, but the end result, experienced fully in your mind and felt in your body. When you live in the end, you detach from need and desperation because you've already claimed the state. You no longer try to force or beg or chase because it's already yours. The anxiety drops, the waiting ends. You've moved from hoping to knowing. You understand that the inner experience is the seed, and the outer world is simply the unfolding. Living in the end means you stop identifying with your current limitations. You don't argue with what is, you quietly replace it with what you choose. You don't fight your present circumstances, you rise above them by mentally relocating yourself into the life you desire. You no longer ask, how will this happen? Because the how is irrelevant to the person who already has it. It's every time you imagine the end and feel it real, you are planting the outcome. And every time you return to that end, no matter what the outside world shows you, you water it. Eventually it must grow, it must appear. Because the law of life is that what you accept within with feeling and persistence becomes your reality. So live there now, live from it. Let your inner world reflect the end result. And the outer world will follow, step by step, without you needing to control it. Gratitude is a powerful force that aligns your energy with the reality you desire. When you feel thankful before the money arrives, you are acknowledging its presence in the unseen. This act of gratitude is not about pretending or wishful thinking. It is a declaration that you trust the process and accept the abundance as already yours. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to plenty. It opens your heart and mind to receive more, because a grateful mind is fertile soil for blessings to grow. When you cultivate thankfulness now, you send a signal to the universe that you appreciate and value what is coming. This appreciation creates a magnetic field that draws money toward you effortlessly. Waiting for proof before feeling grateful keeps you stuck in a cycle of wanting and waiting. It says, I will be thankful only if I get what I want. But gratitude in advance breaks that cycle. It says, I am thankful because what I want is already on its way, even if I don't see it yet. This mindset creates a powerful shift in your vibration, allowing the flow of abundance to accelerate. When you practice gratitude before receiving, you also raise your confidence and peace. You release fear and doubt, replacing them with joy and trust. This emotional state is crucial because it tells your subconscious mind and the creative law that you believe in the outcome without reservation. Remember, what you thank for multiplies. By expressing sincere gratitude now, you're not just appreciating what has already come, you are inviting more to come. Gratitude is a bridge between desire and manifestation, a spiritual acknowledgement that what you want is not separate from you, but connected to your present state. So give thanks in advance. Let it be a daily habit. Write it down, speak it aloud, feel it deeply. Thank the universe. Thank yourself. Thank the invisible hands that are arranging your provision. This simple yet profound act sets the wheels in motion and keeps them turning, bringing the money you desire closer and closer until it is undeniably yours. A powerful way to change your present and future by reimagining events that may have caused you to doubt your ability to receive money or feel worthy of abundance. Often our memories carry emotional weight. Moments when we felt lack, failure, or disappointment become ingrained in our subconscious mind, shaping our current reality without us even realizing it. By revisiting those memories and consciously altering them in your imagination, you can free yourself from the limitations they impose. This process isn't about denying what happened or pretending things were perfect. It's about changing how those events affect you now. For example, you remember a time when you struggled financially or were rejected. Imagine a different ending, one where you received support, where the outcome was positive, where abundance was present. See yourself handling the situation with confidence and ease. Feel the relief, the joy, and the security as if that new version of the past is a true story. When you revise the past in this way, you are rewriting the script your subconscious mind follows. You're removing the emotional blocks that keep you stuck in cycles of scarcity and opening the door to new possibilities. This doesn't mean the external facts change immediately, but your internal state shifts. And that shift is what ultimately transforms your outer experience. The mind does not distinguish between vividly imagined memories and actual experiences when they are felt with conviction. So by creating a new, empowering version of your past, you are planting seeds of abundance in your subconscious. Over time, these seeds grow into new habits, beliefs, and actions that attract money naturally. Make it a habit to look back on any limiting memories related to money, security, or worthiness, and rewrite them with the ending you desire. Take control of your story. Free yourself from the chains of past experiences, because when you heal the past in your imagination, you pave the way for a future where you keep receiving money effortlessly and joyfully. Remember, the power to transform your financial reality lies not in external circumstances, but within your own mind and heart. You are the creator of your experience, and by assuming the state of wealth, using your imagination as the gateway, feeling the reality of abundance, and persisting without needing proof, you align yourself with infinite channels of prosperity. Your inner conversations shape your world, and the law responds only to the identity you claim. Live in the end, be grateful in advance, and revise your past to free yourself from old limitations. Stand firm in this truth. The money you seek is already flowing to you, unseen but certain. All that remains is for you to believe it, feel it, and embody it fully. When you do, the universe moves effortlessly to match your inner reality. You don't wait for wealth, you live as wealth. And in doing so, you become unstoppable. So claim your abundance now, for it is not a distant dream, but your present reality waiting to be revealed.